Well, I just dropped a video just literally a few minutes ago in regards to a video on Zach LaVine and kind of how he hasn't been the problem so far with the Chicago Bulls this season, but he hasn't been part of the solution either. Well, while I'm editing this video, we got new details come out from Shams and from KC Johnson. He also solidifies this rumor as well, is that teams are now calling in about the availability of Zach LaVine, and the Bulls now have an increased openness, is the exact phrase, in exploring a deal. So while we've heard before that the Chicago Bulls haven't necessarily been shopping Zach LaVine, but they have been listening to offers, it now sounds like the Chicago Bulls are even more open than before. We've heard that they have a very high asking price. It really doesn't have much detail as far as the teams that are interested or the Bulls' asking price, if that has changed at all, if they've come down on it. But right now, it seems like a lot of general managers are making calls on Zach LaVine. Even an article saying this, the NBA's 30 general managers in Chicago Tuesday for the all-annual championship classic, and that Zach LaVine may be a big part of the talks going on there as far as teams being interested in Zach LaVine. So now hearing that the Bulls are more open than ever in shopping Zach LaVine and going ahead and making a move for him, we may be seeing the closing of the Zach LaVine chapter in Chicago sooner rather than later. Now, as always, you guys know, I always like to say, until things actually come and we have kind of more details on it, take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But the fact that not only did Shams tweet it, but also now we get KC Johnson also supporting those claims that the Bulls are more open. KC Johnson basically saying exactly that the new development, which sources confirm, is the openness from both sides on the right deal. Zach LaVine has been extremely loyal to the Bulls and remains committed professional, but this could be a very different looking Bulls team by the February deadline. So that increased openness, whatever that means from the Chicago Bulls, like I said, I don't know if that means quite yet if they're going to come down off the reported value that they've been seeking for Zach LaVine, which we've always heard has been 2 first-round picks, a young player, and a veteran to help match those salaries. But at the end of the day, hearing that the Bulls now sit in a place where they're more open than ever to move Zach LaVine may inch closer to what a lot of Bulls fans have been asking for, and that is a full rebuild of the Chicago Bulls team. Now, depending on what the Bulls get back, could it change up the mix of the roster enough to where maybe they look at that as a retooling rather than a rebuild? That remains to be seen. We don't really have any details of teams that have been interested, made calls, or anything like that. But watch this story closely and make sure you guys stay tuned in right here at Chicago Bulls Central, because you know we'll be dropping that content as soon as it drops to give you guys the latest updates in any trades, news, rumors, or anything with the Chicago Bulls. But right now, big things going down. Zach LaVine, apparently, the Bulls are more open than ever to move Zach LaVine. Keep in mind, we heard about a year and a half ago also that Michael Reinsdorf wasn't the most enamored with Zach LaVine, and he's the one running the day-to-day operations for the Chicago Bulls now. Considering the struggles from the team from the last 2.5 seasons, the Bulls may now look to move on from the highest paid player in their franchise history. They may look to move on to that player to try to salvage and change the direction of the team going forward. Let me know what you guys think on all this down below. Do you believe this? Do you think that this makes it more likely that the Bulls are literally going to move Zach LaVine? Or do you think, once again, we're going to hear some rumblings and it's going to go away and maybe they're just listening to offers? Let me know what you guys think on all that. As always, down below, make sure you stay tuned in with the show. Follow it at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail about this or any other scenario, do it at 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.